Right. All three of y'all got something in common. All three of you guys know about this young brother right here.
Gangsters.
Yeah. This is right out the bag.
There's some thugs coming on. There's some thugs coming in there.
Okay. You all three have a criminal background, something that you've. This is true. I mean, you all have a criminal background, but you've been upfront about that, and now you're reformed. Rehabilitated.
Exactly.
And you're making a difference in your communities now. Give them a round of applause for that.
So I tell you, these brothers are doing good things, big things. You know what I'm saying? Yes, they had a past, but Ira's writing movies.
Yes.
Towns is writing movies. He's helping the kids in the community, sending kids to school and paying their tuition. He's doing all type of big things. So I don't want to look like these guys are just some criminals. You know, we all got a past. We all done so. We all got skeletons in our closet.
Exactly.
But these dudes are doing something big, and that's why I love them to death. I'm just keeping it real because I don't want to deal with no guys who are just some idiots. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's why they're on the show, because I want to, showcase them, because these guys are real dudes who are doing real big things in the community. You know what I'm saying? And they're positive.
And that's important.
Yes.
Speak on what Donny's talking about, man.
Positive.
While being able to go through what you went through, because you spent 30 years in prison.
Yeah.
30 years in prison for drug trafficking.
Yes.
All right. And to be able to turn your life around and to make that big of a difference, what's that mean to you?
You know, a whole lot of people don't get it. When we was on the streets, we did what we did for the better good of the family. And when you walk back on the streets and see the world in a new way, all these kids need a whole lot of help because they lost. And I do an outreach program for the churches. I give out food every Thursday at 10 o'clock on 52nd and Main. I do mentorship. And I'm part of the cannabis world. I'm one of the lead cannabis dudes in Los Angeles. And when you was talking about cannabis, about them coming through the airport, they're gonna go through Denver and LAX. It's cool. You know, Baltimore is cool. The Fed's not gonna mess with them. But when they go through New York and places like that, then they're gonna have the problem.
Right.
But this is how life is right now. White America trying to take the cannabis business over. And I'm keep on saying, nah, this is not gonna happen. We're gonna keep on doing what we're doing because, how you say it, we are the experts in this field. And I give classes, the application solution to the world problem of the cannabis world. So when you fill out an application in a bank for a loan, it's like coming to White's Enterprise and fill out an application to get the understanding on this intellectual property that I'm giving out, and it costs a few dollars for you to earn it.
Right. Giving that knowledge. Giving that knowledge. That's really important to give that knowledge, man. But talking about this, because that's one of the topics we're talking about, is, as I mentioned at the top of the show, LAX is now allowing passengers to carry a small amount of weed, I think it's 28.5 grams of weed in your carry-on luggage. But as Whitey was saying, you have to be aware of the laws, because if it's legal in California, it might not be legal. It ain't legal in Georgia.
You might have a layover in Georgia somewhere.
Right.
And here they come. You know, so that's the gamble that you take when you throw the dice, if that's what you want to do. You know what I mean? And I think that people should wait.
Wait on what?
Should wait for
Federal laws for change?
Because it's coming.
It's legal in 11 states now.
But what I'm saying, it's growing and it's coming. You know, because the cannabis world is growing. It's a lot of money in it. You know what I mean? And I think that other states and, other jurisdictions are going to jump on board.
But it's not federal legal yet. You know what I'm saying? So you still have a problem if you're trying to go to the airport.
Once you cross state lines, it becomes a federal
because you have to
issue.
take your chances,
So it's legal in 11 states where you can buy it over the age of 21. It's legal medicinally in 33 states right now. But once again, that's only a small amount. So it's not you get a big duffel bag. You're going to put pounds of weed in there, so don't do anything like that. But once again, we're talking about the differences. Once again, do we trust it? As black men, as black people, do you trust the fact that they're saying that you can do something like that? And if you go to another
I think it's kind of a test case right now. I don't believe we're ever going to get the federal permission to totally legalize marijuana.
Why not?
Why you say that?
Because the feds don't need the money.
Okay, let me elaborate on that.
States need the money, but the feds don't need the money. They make the money.
That's true also, but I'm gonna elaborate on both of this so you guys can really understand it. We in LA and across these 50 states it's going to be legal in 3 years. Right now, Big Tobacco is building up everything they can, and they trying to chop down all the little people in the cities to get these licenses. If you listen carefully, just listen carefully on what's going on in Los Angeles right now. The politicians are giving all the licenses to Armenians, Persians, but they're not giving them to the people of color.
Why do you think that's the case?
Because this right here, how it really works, and people just don't really want to accept it. Black America is coming in as a welfare people, asking for a favor. While white America is coming in with their money. This is the world of commerce. And in the world of commerce, it's like me. I got some money.
So that's how you were able to do it, because your money was you were able to talk in their language right now.
I talk their language, but they don't even understand this language that I'm talking, because it's foreign, because they don't know anything about the drug game. This ain't nothing but the drug game, just turned to the weed game. And every time you look up, you're trying to figure out what's the next move gonna be. Well, each black dude supposed to get with his partner, because Madman, they already got their partner. They in Canada, and their mother company is over here in America, and they telling the world, like, we can take over this industry with no problem. And I was looking at it like how he supposed to. But if you had the inside track on it, you will understand that Trump and his boys, they didn't pass the Farm Act to make hemp legal for no reason, because hemp is a hemp seed. So as soon as that became legal in the federal industry, now the weed getting ready to come legal, because they're going to be able to grow it under the form of.
So how do we as black people, get into that, like you said, speak that language, invest in that type of stuff right now, so that we can build that type of generational wealth to come?
See, well, my friend here, Whitey, he's an educator. He's an educator that's highly versed in this field. So he's giving seminars and he's doing things. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the city and you're trying to, get your licenses, you're trying to find out, what's really going on in the hemp world, you need to talk to this man.
So is it just about the money though, Whitey? Because it's one thing I know a lot of things could be politics as well. It's political. So you can have all the money in the world. If people don't want you to have something in this country, they're not going to give it to you.
And you said it correct. Is it all about the money? Yes.
How?
Because white America want to control, just like they control the computer world, the movie industry. It's all about controlling. But our job as black people is to find a way where we just get a little bit of it. We don't want much of it. If we get 25% of it, that means we got generational wealth for a very long time. But you guys got to do your job. You guys got to help these young black dudes.
What do you want us to do?
I need you guys to invest in these young black dudes who
that's
got
what we're
these
trying to. We definitely trying. That's why we have this platform right now, so we can invest in our community. That's the reason we have guys like you on the show, guys that went through something in the past that have reformed themselves, and now you teaching other people the game and teaching them, more importantly, what not to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how we can help one another. So that's what this platform is for on Fox Soul.
Because each day, me and my brothers, we sit back and we try to figure out the next move. Because everybody's still trying to catch up with this industry. Why they got dudes like me who got this intelligence just locked up in my brain, and I want to feed it to all the youngsters so they can have an opportunity for once in their life to own something of theirs, instead of always have to go work for other people.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you a question, Marty. What do you feel about the guys who's been locked up for years, for these weed cases since the 80s and even the 70s, for these weed cases? What do you think they ought to do about them? And how do we get them out of jail, for these weed cases? It's another 10,000 pounds. Because I know guys that sold like 10,000 pounds, like not little weed.
Right.
We're talking about the guys who was doing 10,000 pounds a month, was drug traffickers like that for weed. What do you think about them?
Well, those 10 states you talking about, those 11 states that's illegal, they bringing all those people back, and they bring them back to court, and they releasing them. But they got to do their job also.
What's that?
White America ain't gonna write their paperwork for them.
Yeah.
They got to get out off the basketball court and off the football field and get in the library and write a motion. The same way, I've been gone, they gave me a life sentence. And they told me, you'll never come home. You're the biggest cocaine dealer in the history of LA. I'm the only person in LA is known to have a cartel. And that's just the truth about it. And right now, here we are again in the same junction where we get to make sure that everybody in LA know and who in those 11 states understand that they have the right to deal with white America, black America, and everybody as a whole.
This is interesting. Can I go a little deeper with you? Can I
Yes,
talk?
sir,
Because, the fact that you had a life sentence and you got this second chance. When you got that second chance, what was your mindset? How did your mindset change? That once you got out, did you know right then that you were going to make a difference in your community and that you were going to teach people what not to do?
So since you said it like that, let me go back a little bit. When I walked in the penitentiary, I was rich. I was filthy rich. And everybody else walked in the penitentiary, they was asking for a suit or something else. So when I was walking the yard, it wasn't in self-pity and failure. It was just, I'm walking the yard because everything I sacrificed for, I looked out at the wall and said, I did a damn good job because I put my people in a position where all of them are going to be successful. So as I walked the track in those many, many years, I looked up and seen young kids walking in. And they were like, they were a living legend. They said, walk with us, talk with us. And as I was talking with them, I started understanding the dilemma that they was facing. They were looking for some fate. The fate was in their cells. They just didn't know how to pull it out of them. And
how'd you pull it out of them? How'd you get out of them?
Because I told them the truth because they didn't have a father. I said, look, every time when you look at life, everybody's going to tell you you're going to fail. And when you fail, you just want to lay on the cold ground and accept failure. But failure ain't nothing but the highway to success. And I want all of you guys to understand that everybody got the right to fail once or twice. But if you continue to pick yourself up off the ground, you're going to be all right. And there go a school over there. You need to go in there, grab those books and start reading them and ask yourself, how you going to make your mama proud? How you going to make your mother say, my boy went away, but he came back and he came home with a degree? This is what life is really about, opening the eyes to a whole lot of youngsters. And when I came back in the streets and I looked at the streets, I'm like, are you guys serious? You guys getting ready to forfeit the weed industry to white America? Where you guys got me, I got intellectual property.
There it is, man. I gotta get Alex and Ira in the show. And what I want to do is I want to kind of intersperse some of your little personal stories and your stories of redemption, and have Donny, of course, jump in and add his 2 cents along with these hot topics, because I think this conversation might be just a little bit more important than what's going on when it comes to the hot topics. But I will get to them in a sense. Where was that moment for you when the light went off, when you knew, you know what I'm doing is not working, and I got to turn my life around and make a difference?
When I caught my last case.
What was that?
And that was
Tell them what you was doing. Be real, Ira.
2012, I put 2 packages of diamonds and gold jewelry in the mail in Cleveland, Ohio. I mailed one from one post office. It weighed 4 pounds. I went across town.
But hold on. How did you get those diamonds?
Yes.
Like we gonna be real. How did you get those diamonds? We're not
Break it all the way
getting
down.
barbershop talk.
You've already earned your time. We're not going to judge you.
Where'd you get the diamonds from?
Okay, keeping it real.
Always.
Yes.
Me and this man, Alex Townsend, right here, if you know the names of Jesse James and Frank James or Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, you know Alex and Ira. We were the modern day equivalent of what they were.
What was you doing?
Well,
Jury heist.
Jury heist.
Yeah.
Okay.
We developed a
And a
system.
bunch of it.
We developed a system of heist in the early '80s on the west side of Los Angeles. Nobody's ever done it before.
They called you the LA Badge Posse, right?
They call us the LA Bash Posse.
Okay.
And we developed a system of going across country, city to city, state to state, from Los Angeles to New York. And we basically burnt scorched earth all the way across country, knocking off jewelry stores. And the deal was, we figured out a way to do this without using a pistol, harming anybody, putting anybody in any danger. 5, 6 o'clock in the morning type stuff, nobody's around, we're getting safes, and it was just such a simple ploy that when they finally caught on to it, and we're talking maybe...
How many years was this? How many
We
years
had
did
a
you do this?
3-decade run.
Good 30,
We had
35
30 years.
And you never, in that 35-year run, how many times did you actually get caught?
We've stumbled maybe 4 or 5 times each.
Listen. We're not going to glamorize it. What we're trying to do is make we know what you've done, but it's the flip side. How many years did you do in prison? Because I've been knowing you since I was 10 years old. How many years?
Out of four times I've gotten knocked, maybe 10 years.
How many years you do, Alex?
Well, it took me 20 years to get caught the first time for a jewelry store. And the second time I got caught, they gave me 11. So.
Was it worth it? Was it worth it, Ira?
Well worth it.
Well, at the time.
I mean, you told me to keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it 100. At the time, it was worth it because we were bosses. You know what I mean? I could pull up next to the richest man that was in Los Angeles at the time, look him up and down, like, yeah, me too.
I don't regret a day that I've done. Not at one
But that was the mentality at that time.
How much do you guys think you estimate that you stole over those 30 years, 35 years?
Millions?
In the millions.
In the millions.
What, 100 million?
No, not quite.
I've done single moves for $2.5 million.
So you were doing
Single
jewelry
moves.
stores? It was jewelry stores only? Was it houses?
Only jewelry stores. We've never been in a house. We've never been in a house. We've never done anything to anybody personally.
Took a radio.
And never used violence.
Took a snicker out of the market.
We've never hurt anybody.
See, here's the
We
thing.
figured out a way that shopping malls and jewelry stores across the country just missed the point when it came to security. Once we exploited that, it was hard for them to change what they had been doing for decades. And we exploited that time. And GPS and surveillance cameras pretty much reversed everything we was trying to do. But it took them about 20, 25 years to come on board.
To figure out a way to stop
do
us.
that.
So once they did that, once again, then you get popped, you go to jail, the second time around or whatnot for you.
Right.
That light goes off. Did that light go off while you were in prison? When did it go off?
Well, what I had a few things, a few factors that kind of changed me. One, I would come home, I get rich, I go to jail, and I come home broke. That's that's the way family and friends. When you're gone, it happens. You know what I'm saying? And I did that 2 or 3 times, and I left a lot of people wealthy. And this last time when I was in, I said, well, I'm watching TV. I'm watching TV like everybody else. I'm seeing cameras. I'm seeing car chases and all this. I'm like that, and I'm getting older. I can't do this anymore. So I just got to the point where I got enough knowledge to write about it now. You know what I mean? And I can tell my story. And I'm sure that there's people, out there that would be interested in what I have to say. And they have been.